Welcome to Open Wheel Report. I am your host, Tanner Kern. I'm joined by the best IndyCar analyst in the game, my father, Jim Kern. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. Excited to watch the race this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be fun. We're watching it in Boston, right?
Most likely. 3 o'clock Eastern time.
3 o'clock Eastern time. Go to lunch, come back, watch the IndyCar race. Got to watch the Patriots too. We got to do double duty like last week.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know you're just solo doing IndyCar on this, but I do a bunch of sports, so I gotta multitask a little bit more.
You can multitask. I'll take up the slack.
Do you think you take up the slack on this show, or is the workload even?
The workload's even. You do the production. I do the content.
All right. PointsBet Sportsbook deposit match up to $250. You can bet on today's Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. It's the links in the description below. Use promo code SPORTS20. Get that deposit match. Good stuff. You put in $250, they give you $250 for free. You put in $10 if you're not a high roller, you get $10 for free. So it's a good deal there. We're talking about the Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey today. Also going to be talking about the silly season. We're going to start with the silly season, of course. Before we do that, though, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Got a lot of great content: IndyCar, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey, you name it. It's on there. And also coming up at 9:30 today, myself and Corey Walsh will be doing an NFL betting show. And I know that's very popular, so make sure you check that out. All right, let's get into it. Silly season. Got some big news.
Big news. Biggest news this week. Ryan Hunter-Reay absolutely out at Andretti. It was speculation for quite a few weeks and possibly even months, but they officially let him go. And it's a 12-year relationship. Obviously, amicable departure, but it opens the seat up officially for Romain Grosjean in that. In the 28 car, DHL car.
Now, the Andretti team has not been good this year besides Colton. Obviously, I got the jersey on today. Colton's got the pole. And even Colton wasn't great this year by any means, but he's been serviceable for that team. Why do you think Hunter-Reay is out after 12 years and he hasn't had a great year?
I think he announced early, I think he came into the season knowing this was going to be his last year. With Andretti, they've struggled a little bit. They've had a few highlights. Rossi's been strong the last couple races. Obviously, we got a pole with Herta for today, and Rossi's in the second position. But they're a strong team. I think it's probably the fact that there's a lot of other strong teams versus Andretti having such a bad season. That's my speculation at this point. But Hinchcliffe's going to be out too, so most likely there's an Indy Lights. Dylan De Francisco is going to move up to the 29 car, so they're going to be set for next year. Maybe put in a 5th car or a 6th car for Indy 500 only. But that's the biggest news of the week. And then the other big news I think is Takuma Sato. There was speculation that he was going to be out of the RLL seat, which was pretty apparent, and based on the fact that Jack Harvey's going to come into that team and for his seat, and because Grosjean going to Dale Coyne, or actually leaving Dale Coyne, going over to Andretti, Sato's a candidate for the Dale Coyne 51 car. So that's the biggest news of the week. There's some other stuff going on, but I'd say those are the two big highlights. I think you're going to see some other stuff kind of happen over the next couple of weeks. Some official announcements won't happen until after Long Beach, but it is definitely heating up. So it should be exciting over the next 2 to 4 weeks with what's going to happen in the 2022 IndyCar season.
Now, one question for you about the silly season with Andretti. How do you think Colton Herta is going to work with Romain Grosjean?
I think he's going to be fine. I mean, they're competitors. I mean, obviously, your boy is the hot gun, no doubt. He's had some strong runs. Qualify, I think this was his 3rd pole of the year. And 2 race, actually one race win. So
1 race win,
3 poles,
so, and then he had the crash in Nashville, which he should finish 2nd in that race.
Yeah, well, he actually should have won the race, but he just pushed too hard.
Well, because once his wheels got locked, he had no chance. If you actually listen to the video on Twitter, they knew he had no chance of winning that. Like, everyone in the stands are like, "Oh, he can win. The announcers thought he could win, but his crew knew.
He pushed a little too hard. Which is experience. So. it should be good. We'll get to the race here in a minute, but obviously sitting on the pole and being the defending champion bodes well for him today. But we'll see what happens. I mean, he almost went off in qualifying yesterday in the Firestone Fast Six, and it should be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll talk about the point standings here. You must be within 54 points today of the leader to have a chance at the NTT IndyCar Series Championship. That's really a 2-horse race. We can say it's a 3-horse race, but it's more like a 2-horse race with Palou and O'Ward. Do you see anyone creeping up in the mix here? We talked about Dixon. Dixon needs to win the final 2 races, and then probably Palou and O'Ward need to not finish the next 2 races for him to have a chance. What's your thoughts on the?
Well, I think going into last week, it was really a 3-horse race with Newgarden. Newgarden obviously started back in the pack. He finished 6th, which wasn't too bad, but there was a 10-point, actually a 35-point swing between Pato and Alex, and realistically, it's a 2-horse race. I think depending, especially with Newgarden starting 17th today, that's going to be a real tough battle for him, depending on what happens, obviously, in the mix. But he was really strong in first qualifying. Unfortunately, didn't make it into the first round of 6 and starts 17th today. So that doesn't bode well for him. And Palou and O'Ward are in the top 6. Obviously, Palou, I think, is starting 4th. O'Ward starting 6th. So it should be interesting. But I think you're going to see the champion come out of those 2. With Newgarden being back 34 points today, depending on where he actually finishes, I don't think Samuelson has a shot at 5th. In 5th place with 75 points back, and Dixon's in 4th. And as you said, he probably has to win both races, and Palou and Ward really can't finish in the top 10 in either case for him to for him to win. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, it looks like it's going to be between McLaren's O'Ward and Ganassi's Palou, which is kind of what I said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, it's amazing too. When you look back at Joseph Newgarden's season, he could easily be the champion this year.
Oh, easily.
I mean, he had 2 or 3 late race blowups where he should have won the race.
Yep.
So I mean, they got to look. Penske's got to look at that and not be happy for sure. So we look at what? That's racing.
That's racing, baby.
That's racing. Make life a ride.
Make life a ride.
Got the shirt on. Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. We'll talk about the race here. When we look at it, I mean, the Firestone Fast Six it's probably the dudes that are going to be up there in the race. But the course, 95 laps, 212.61 total miles. WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, previously known as the Laguna Seca Raceway, paved road racing track used for both auto racing and motorcycle racing. Now, will you ever race your motorcycle at Laguna Seca, you think?
I'd love to go around that track. It's great. I mean, it's a natural natural terrain road course, famous for its corkscrew turn, which is a blind turn going up a hill and then down. So it should be really, really pretty exciting. I mean, IndyCar raced here a lot in the 90s, 80s and 90s. They've haven't been here. Actually, 2 years ago they were here, but it's the first kind of series back after I think a 12, 14-year departure. So it should be pretty exciting. Now, last year they didn't race because of COVID in California, but it should be really exciting. It's thrills and spills. I mean, it's almost like a carnival ride. So it should be really, really exciting, and it's supposed to be a nice day. Yesterday was a beautiful day out there, so we'll see what happens when the green flag runs.
I got a fun fact for you.
Yeah, what's my fun fact? Yeah, I'm here.
A fun fact for you. You just like paused. You didn't say anything.
What's my fun fact? Was
the course built on a lake?
No.
Yes, it was. It was built on a lake that has dried up. That's the word. It is dried up since it was built. You got to know that.
Really? I didn't know that. Everything's dried up in California.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So.
All right. So an artificial pond has since been added, but it was originally built on a lake.
Well, it actually has views of the Monterey Peninsula, which is a beautiful part of California. So it should be really, really exciting.
3 o'clock green flag wave. We'll be watching it from here, along with the Patriots today. All right, so PointsBet Sportsbook deposit match up to $250. Who are you going to bet on today? If you look at the Firestone Fast Six, I don't want this to be your picks, but if you look at the Firestone Fast Six, so you have Herta, Rossi, Power, Palou, Askew, and Award. Out of those guys, who do you think is going to win the race?
Out of those six, do you think the winner's coming out of the top six?
I think the winner's coming out of the top six, personally, yes.
All right. Well, you know what? I like Will Power today. Herta obviously is strong. He won the race 2 years ago, so he's a defending champion sitting on the pole. He loves this course. I think it's his favorite race course out of the whole series. So I'm going to go put it out on a limb and actually go with Herta today. Assuming he doesn't make any mistakes. That's my opinion.
Yeah, we were talking before the show, and there's Maxie.
Yeah, Max the dog.
So we were talking before the show, and obviously Herta has nothing to lose today. Like he can't win, so he wants to win races. He's going to go all out. Where Palou and Award, they're not going to push hard because they just need to finish.
No, they got to finish. They got to finish strong though.
But if they're in a 3-4 battle, they're not going to try to get up to 1 to win.
Yeah. Well, I think Pato is probably going to take a little more risk than Palou. You know, Palou, as I said a couple weeks ago, is a surgeon. Very, very poised. You know, he's going to be pretty precise. But the guys they have to finish strong. You know, they need top 10 finishes. But you know, I think Herta wants to win that race. There's no doubt about it. So, and I guarantee you. I mean, I know what they're saying, but you know, they're not worrying about the points championship as much as just finishing strong in the race today.
Yeah, well, with Herta, when you look at Herta, I think this is his race to win. Obviously, we said Nashville was his race to win. This is kind of the redemption. He's got the pole. He's going to race well. He's going to be strong. He's got a great car, and he's determined to win. I think it's his day easily. With nothing to be an IndyCar, but
well, I mean, you know, he's a favorite, obviously with PointsBet. So we'll see where that kind of comes in at. But I think, are we picking podium?
Yeah,
I've done incredible for podiums this year. I've picked lots of race winners. I've gotten 2 out of 3 a couple races. So you know, we'll see what happens today. But I'm looking at Power, and Herta.
Okay.
Herta to win, Power to podium, and I like Palou. You know, Palou's my pick.
All right, so we'll throw the odds up here. All right, let me get this off the screen. All right, so PointsBet. Why don't you talk about PointsBet? You said you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, you know, it's official sports book of NBC Sports. You know, take promo code SPORTS20 for your $250 no risk bet.
No, it's not. No, you messed it up. It's deposit match.
Deposit match.
It's deposit match on PointsBet.
All right, deposit match.
I know we're working with DraftKings and FanDuel and every book in the business, but you got to get this right.
Yeah, well, I'm not the point spread analyst. I'm the IndyCar analyst. So that's your job. But I'll throw one in there. So anyway, official sports book of NBC Sports. Use promo code SPORTS20.
Yep, promo code SPORTS20, $250 deposit match. So let's start at the bottom here. What do you think about Jimmy Johnson at plus 50,000 today?
Jimmy Johnson is Jimmy Johnson. You know, he continues to learn IndyCar, but there's no way Jimmy Johnson can win that race. It's just impossible.
Remember when you were the mayor of Turn 11 in Nashville, and the guys were like, they want to put $1 on Jimmy Johnson to win?
Yeah, I'd say save your money. You know, put it towards that beer fund. Although there were some surprises, I will say that. I don't know. We didn't talk about some of the qualifying surprises, but you know, Max Chilton had a really strong day yesterday. Oliver Askew got in the top 6. You know, he's in the 3 cars. I'm sorry, the 3rd car of RLL for the final 3 races, and he actually had a strong run. So there's you know, there was some surprises. So
now, who on this list with Renus, like who's the best bet here? Renus, Hunter-Reay, Bourdais, Sato, Castroneves, Chilton, Daly. Obviously, these guys aren't going to do anything, but you look plus 35,000 and up. Who's the best bet down here?
I would say Bourdais. Bourdais is So even though he's most likely out at Penske going into next season, I think he's pretty strong. He had a relatively strong qualifying run. He's not too far down the line starting today.
Okay. What about Renus at plus 10,000? Do you like that?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, he's been up and down, all season. He had a few strong runs. Obviously, won the race at the Indy Grand Prix, the spring race. Had a pretty strong run in the Indy 500, but he's been up and down. So I wouldn't say so on that.
So then we go Harvey.
Oh, Bourdais. What am I talking about? I lost my mind this morning. So Sebastian Bourdais runs for AJ Foyt Racing. So I was thinking about thinking about Simon Pagenaud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a brain fart.
Do you still like Bourdais?
I like Bourdais, but he's going to probably be back in that seat next year. Former champion, had a couple strong runs this year, but he's not winning the race.
Now, what do you think of Romain Grosjean today? Because everyone loves Romain Grosjean, but he hasn't delivered.
What do you mean he hasn't delivered?
He hasn't.
He's sitting second in the rookie points. He missed all
but
the
he's not a
ovals.
rookie. But he's realistically, he's not a rookie. I mean,
he's a rookie in. Well, he's a rookie in the series.
Formula One, isn't it?
What's that?
Isn't it JV compared to Formula One? Like if you talk about Formula One being the best drivers in the world, they should be able to transition over IndyCar and have success.
Yeah, but he's actually done quite well as it relates to other drivers that have come into the series. Even former world champions have struggled. So I think he's done very well. Now, he admittedly had a problem 2 weeks ago because he was thinking the turn warnings was in meters versus feet, which is why he crashed in the first turn last week into Hitchcliff. But he's had strong. I mean, he just missed. He was seventh in the first round of six qualifying, and he was the leader in a couple of the during the whole session. So I still see him pretty strong. I mean, he starts 11th today. I think a top 10 finish is good for him. As he continues to learn. But I've liked Romain all season. I think he's been pretty strong. He's had 2 podiums. He's not. I mean, Dale Coyne is really I won't say a second-rate team, but it's not one of the top 5 teams, and he's done quite well for them. So
he should have a big year next year.
He should have a big year next year going into the Andretti seat. So, I mean, Andretti wouldn't be signing him unless he felt that there was talent there. So,
yeah. Well, the people love him too. I mean,
he's a popular driver. He's a popular driver. He loves America.
Loves America. Yep, land of the free.
All right, brave.
Home of the brave. So we look at the top here. Obviously, you're picking Herta, but if you look at this list from Askew up, who has a chance? Who has a chance to win the race?
Well, I think. Realistically, anybody has a chance to win a race in those top 6, top 8. It a lot of depends on what happens and get people getting into trouble. But Rossi's had a strong run. A couple weeks ago, he obviously was at the leaderboard on the Firestone Fast 6. Palou can win races, Power can win races, O'Ward can win races, Dixon can win races, Newgarden can win races, Ericsson can win races. So you got any of those guys are there, with the exception of Rossi, everybody's won at least one race this year. So I think your surprises ask you, and I think that's really really nice for RLL. But I don't see him winning the race, but just never can tell.
All right, so we'll look at the podium here. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I like Herta, Palou, Dixon today. Herta, Palou, Dixon.
Yeah. I'm going Herta, Palou, Power.
Herta, Palou,
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Herta, Palou, Power. You should play. Why aren't you playing fantasy IndyCar fantasy on the app? You should be doing that.
Yeah.
You win $1,000 because you predict them right every week.
Yeah, well, I've been pretty strong. You've been pretty strong too, but I think I've been a little better. I've had some race winners. You've had some podiums.
I've had a lot of. I've been 2 for 3 a lot.
Yeah. Well, so
Well, I pick Herd every week usually.
well, yeah.
I
Well, look
support
what that's done for you. You know.
I support my favorite drivers.
Yeah. Well, I've picked race winners and podiums, so you got to do both to win the championship.
Yeah. All right. So that does it for the show.
In the Kern family IndyCar competition, I think I'm just a little stronger than you.
That's all right. That does it for the show. Well, all right. I lost my train of thought because you're getting competitive on here. All right. So what's your final thoughts for the race today? What are you looking for?
Well, I think it's just exciting. It's exciting to be back. You know, this is really going to be setting up a strong run into Long Beach next weekend for the final championship run. But this is a great racetrack. You know, it was off the series for a lot of years. Everybody's happy it's back. It's one of the most exciting courses in the series, and it's just good to be there. So look for a really fun race. Probably a few thrills and spills just because of the terrain. You know, cars get off and kicks up dirt and dust, and you know if you're off the track, you're in trouble here. But you know that corkscrew turn is one of the most iconic turns in motor racing, and I think it's just really strong day today. So tune in to NBC Sports or Peacock for the race at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it's NBC Sport. Peacock's the streaming service that they show. Next year, there's going to be races exclusively shown on Peacock.
Yeah.
So we probably have to get Peacock. Firestone Grand Prix. Yeah, I mean, we can stream them, but Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey. That was our preview show for today's race. PointsBet Sportsbook deposit match up to $250. Links in the description below. You can use that or just enter promo code SPORTS20 for the deposit match. That does it for the show. Nice show today. Hope everyone has a great Sunday. Enjoy the races, enjoy the football games, and we will talk to you next week for another episode of Open Wheel Report.